Well, what up, gang? Carolina Jackpot time coming at you on Tuesday afternoon. I hope everybody's doing good today. There are a ton of great college football games coming up this weekend, and I'm going to talk about one of them in this video. But before we get to that, if you're new around here, consider staying true around here. How about subscribe to the Carolina Jackpot channel if you enjoy the content over here? You can even subscribe if you just like to come over here and troll me or roast me or make fun of me. It doesn't matter because we're trying to get to 14,000 subscribers. We're almost there. We're just a hair away. We're at 13.9 or something like that, kind of stuck a little bit. Let's get ourselves out of this muddy rudder and get to 14,000. Next goal will be 15,000, and then who knows? It's probably about 100,000 after that. I can see it just around the corner. I sure can. But anyway, hit the like button on this video too. It helps Carolina Jackpot out a lot, so I'm told. South Carolina versus LSU coming up this Saturday evening in Tiger Stadium, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. 6:45 p.m. kickoff time, local time, 7:45 p.m. time over here on the Eastern Time Zone. It's on the SEC Network. Be South Carolina's first trip to Tiger Stadium since 2020, and the first time they will have faced off against head coach Brian Kelly in Tiger Stadium, who in his time at LSU has only lost 2 games at home. He lost last year against Alabama in a night game where LSU just totally got dominated from start to finish. And in 2022, he lost to the Tennessee Vols in a nooner, one of the rare noon kicks at Tiger Stadium, 40-13. Got ran out of the building early and just never was able to recover. South Carolina right now is an 8.5-point underdog to LSU. On the money line, if you want to put up $100 on South Carolina winning the game outright, pay you $260. So that's a plus 260 on the money line there. Can South Carolina win this game? Yes, they can. I feel a lot more confident about South Carolina going into this matchup at Tiger Stadium than a lot of the ones in the past that I've seen us go into there, which, in fact, South Carolina hasn't played there a whole ton since we've been in the SEC or just in general. In fact, our only victory against LSU, our only victory in SEC play anyway, was in 1994 here in Tiger Stadium, back when Steve Tannehill was the quarterback. But I believe it was one Blake Williamson from T.L. Hanna High School down in Anderson that led the Gamecocks to victory in that game. The next year in Williams-Brice Stadium, South Carolina and LSU actually tied. Now those were some lean years for LSU football. The mid-90s was not great to the Bayou Bengals. That was during the, Curly Hallman, I believe, was the coach back then. Maybe Jerry DiNardo was also coach, a guy that was also a coach at Vanderbilt for a while. And they weren't very good back then. Well, then they got Nick Saban back at the beginning of the 21st century, and everything, just kind of took off from there. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I like our chances in this game, because we have a lot of things that we still need to get cleaned up. A lot of things. South Carolina looked good against Kentucky in some phases of the game, and in some they did not. Kentucky, however, I think we can all agree that Kentucky is solidly the worst team in the SEC. And I'm not throwing shots at Kentucky. I'm not going to fuck it up here, but I mean, it is what it is. Reality is reality. Arkansas might make an argument, and Kentucky went down to Georgia this past Saturday, and they competed, and they played hard. I mean, they were just outmatched. You saw their quarterback, Cutter Boley. He started. You can see the maturation process has started. He played a lot better against Georgia than he did against South Carolina, but it just wasn't nearly enough. South Carolina running the football against Kentucky, still an issue. Still didn't look good there. Just a little bit over 2 yards of carry against Kentucky. It's not going to get the job done. Now, they did try to bleed the clock by running the football a lot, which I didn't really understand that. South Carolina's not a team that is in a position to where everything is polished enough to where we can just bleed out clock and run the we need to get some younger players in. Keep running your offense. Keep doing the things that you are going to need to be able to do down the stretch of the season to get some of these younger guys some reps. Right? I don't think it's been talked about enough that the fact that South Carolina does not have an option, really, in terms of a viable backup quarterback for Lenore Sellers if he gets injured, if he has to miss some point in the game, if he goes out, if he sprains an ankle or something, or even if he just has to go out for a few plays. We're sitting here turning to sixth-year senior Luke Doty. This guy is not an SEC-level quarterback. You need to have someone who is potentially going to be an SEC-level quarterback as his backup. And we got two young kids here in Cutter Woods and Aaron Nolan. Aaron Nolan saw a little bit of time in the South Carolina State game at the end of it, basically to kneel down and do nothing. Cutter Woods has seen no action. We're turning to Doty, and we saw what happened when Doty played against Vanderbilt in the second half. It wasn't good. The team didn't rally around him. The team basically quit and let Vanderbilt pretty much steal an easy victory from the jaws of where I think that South Carolina could have punched them back, and that game would have been competitive in the second half. I don't know if they would have won it or not, but we'll never know. No one knows the answer to that because it didn't happen that way. So they've got to figure that part out. I kind of got off on a tangent there. Sorry about that. The running game is not good. This is also not going to be the team that you are going to figure out your issues in the run game against. LSU's defense is nasty. They're really good. Ranked number 22 in the country in terms of total defense here. I think the most amount of points they allowed was the 24 they allowed to Ole Miss 2 weeks ago. A really, really good team there offensively. The other one's Clemson, 10 points. Southeast Louisiana, 10 points. And Florida, 10 points. LSU's been pretty much rocking and rolling in terms of what they can do in terms of defensively. Tight ends. I'd like to see South Carolina get the tight ends involved in the game more. Now, that being said, we lost a tight end today. Michael Smith, the sophomore from Savannah, Georgia. He decides he's going to go on ahead and put his name in the transfer portal and redshirt the rest of the year. Is it a blow to South Carolina? It's a blow for the future. I don't know that it's necessarily a blow for this season. He wasn't playing a lot. He played a lot more last year as a freshman than he did this year. He's only caught one pass, and in fact, I believe it was the first play of the game, or maybe the second, against Virginia Tech. Elsewise, the guy's been on a milk carton. When asked about it, Shane Beamer said practice matters around here. I guess he's telling us the guy doesn't practice well, and he's not going to play. A lot of fans criticize Beamer for that statement, but can the guy tell you anything with that? Like, I'm all about jumping over Shane Beamer's case when he gets kind of with the whole crybaby routine and stuff in the press conferences, but if he's giving you the most valid answer, coach speak answer that he possibly can without letting you know exactly what's going on in his football program, he's doing what he can here. He's letting you know the guy's probably half-assing it. So it wasn't playing. It is what it is. But they need to get these guys involved in the throw game a little bit more to take pressure off some of these running backs. If you can't run the damn ball worth a shit, stop trying to run the damn ball. If it's not working, it's not working. If Lenore Sellers is the only person that can run the ball effectively, well, I guess that's what you're going to have to do. Start using some of these little slants to the tight ends. Get some of these guys out in space. They catch the ball, as a rule, when they throw it to you. Jordan Dingle and Brady Hunt have both made some decent plays this year. Start doing some of that. Then maybe you can mix in some quick hitters with the run and have it be a little bit more effective. Now, what's the deal, too, with Rashul Faison? Every time we got to talk about this in another video. Every time we get inside, like the 15-yard line, this guy's money. He'll score a damn touchdown for you on kind of one of them outside zone-type plays. But, however, when we're in between the 20s, we're trying to send him up the middle, and it don't work. I don't know. I don't dial up plays. I'm not an X's and O's guy. So, maybe when you get closer to the goal line, maybe your defenses or opposing defenses get into a different type of formation to where it's easier to run that play and it's more effective. And for some reason, you can't do it in between the 20s. I don't know, but it seems like to me that there's something they could do with this dude that would work. But they just haven't figured it out yet. But I don't know that this is the time to figure it out, though, because you're playing, as I said, number 22 defense in the country. They're salty. They're going to be able to stop all that shit. Is Lenoris going to be able to beat them over the top? I don't know. They're pretty good against the pass. However, I don't really know that they've been tested all that much. Lenoris, when he has time, and he's been sitting back there in that pocket, I mean, dude has been eating some teams up out of the pocket. I don't know how much time he's going to be able to spend in the pocket against LSU. Their pass rush is not ferocious, but once again, I think it's the best one you probably will have faced all year long. Outside of maybe Mizzou, and I think Mizzou as a team, as a whole, looks better than LSU right now. I think LSU has more talent. LSU definitely has more talent than what South Carolina does. But they haven't played like it. They haven't shown it. And this is why I'm telling you, South Carolina has a chance to win this game. I mean, if they're not playing well, they've got things they need to work on. They got things they need to clean up. This is the time that we can exploit some of their weaknesses. Now, that said, they also had a bye week last week too. So the dings, the bangs up, and the bruises have all had time to heal. The kinks have had time to get worked out. And I do believe Brian Kelly's a good coach. If you listen to him in press conferences, he doesn't sound like a coach. He sounds like he's like some dickhead CEO at some company or something. But I think the guy knows what he's doing. Offensively, LSU, Garrett Nussmeier, the guy just hadn't been it this year. 7 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, which that tracks, as I told you guys over the offseason. We're talking about how things would pan out this year. We knew he was going to throw some interceptions. He did last year. He was an interception machine. What did he throw last year? 25 touchdowns and 12 interceptions. So that ratio is just a little bit better this year, but not much. He's thrown for just a little over 1,000 yards. Lenoris only thrown for about 850 yards, which that kind of surprised me that Lenoris has only thrown for. I would have thought he'd have been over 1,000 by now, but then again, I mean, he really didn't throw it a lot in that South Carolina State game. And of course, he missed an entire half against Vandy, and really didn't throw it much in that game before then either. But he did air it out against Mizzou and Kentucky a lot. So I guess that does make sense. But Nussmeier has been banged up. He's got, it's either like an oblique or torso injury of some sort, where he's just not able to rip the football like he was when he was totally healthy. And that's an issue too. They really haven't played their backup quarterback, Michael Van Buren, the kid that transferred in from Mississippi State over the offseason, a whole heck of a lot. And Van Buren is a totally different type of quarterback than what Nussmeier is. He's more of a dual threat type guy. Not exactly like Lenoris Sellers, but he's definitely got a lot more mobility than what Nussmeier has. Nussmeier has no mobility whatsoever. I mean, it is what I mean. He's probably got like more mobility than me. Okay, but I mean, I have the mobility of a sperm whale. So this guy is, in terms of SEC quarterbacks, he's probably one of the least mobile. But if you've got a torso injury and you're a quarterback, you can't rip that football. You can't do the things that you need to do to be able to throw the ball, push it down the field effectively with that kind of an injury. And those kind of injuries take a while to heal up from. It ain't something you're just going to get over in a week. So if this guy is really seriously hurt and he's still out there trying to play with this and they're letting him play with it, that's coaching malpractice, in my opinion. But, I mean, who am I to judge? Who am I to judge? Not me. So I think South Carolina can get to him. I think Dylan Stewart, Brian Thomas Jr., I think they can get the pressure to him and put the boots to Nussmeier a little bit and then force them to try to beat us on the ground a little bit. They hadn't been able to run the ball very well this year. They've got pretty much a brand new offensive line. They lost several guys last year who were all there were really, really good. One of them, what's his name, Will Campbell, I think, is in the NFL right now. Was a first-round draft pick. And they had several other good players on that line, too, that they lost to the NFL. So it's a totally retooled unit, and they just haven't been able to gel and haven't been able to run the football effectively this year. Their number one running back, Caden Durham, has also been injured. Now, last year, they didn't know who was going to run the ball last year. And he, all of a sudden, kind of emerged as the number one running back, and he had a good game against South Carolina. Rushed for over 100 yards and kind of helped lead them back from 17 points down in the second half there. So if he's banged up, I fully expect them to start giving some more touches to the four-star freshman from the New Orleans area, Harlem Berry. We saw him score his first touchdown against Ole Miss. This guy was the number one player out of the state of Louisiana in the 2025 class. So I'm sure LSU is just looking for an opportunity to let this kid start taking over that running back spot if Durham's just not able to go with it. And it's the kind of guy I could see having a good day against the Gamecocks, because if you saw what we did on that first drive against Kentucky, Seth McGowan, a running back that virtually nobody's really ever heard a whole lot about, ran the ball right down our throats. He looked like, he looked like damn Ahmad Hardy, just a different version wearing a blue jersey, running the ball down our throat that first drive of the game. So I don't know that Carolina was able to kind of stop it and stop the bleeding after that. But the point is, he was able to do it. You know, I mean, you get yourself in a hole against a team like LSU, it's not going to be as easy to dig out of as it was against Kentucky. Because I can tell you, I don't think that LSU is going to be making the mistakes that Kentucky made to allow you to get defensive touchdowns. They're probably not going to make those kind of errors. So you're going to have to play disciplined, clean football. Disciplined, clean football also means no pre-snap penalties. You can't do this shit. Beamer said in the press conference today that they've been working on the stuff, working in a loud environment, you know. But we do that every week because every SEC environment's loud. No, fucker, no. This one is loud as shit. It's louder than any of the ones that you have been in this year or will play in this year. It makes Clemson look like Sunday school. This place is loud. And I can just see these guys screwing up and having 4 or 5 false starts in the first half. You cannot do that. Cannot do that, guys. Can't get into 1st and 15 situations, especially against a team with a defense this good. I mean, you're just basically throwing the white flag up at that point. So no pre-snap penalties. Let Lenoris play his game. Let him get it. Let him run the football. Let him be the dude, because he's a freaking dude. And I'm telling you, he can get out on that edge and make some things happen in this game. Now, they'll probably be sending Harold Perkins to be the spy on Lenoris, and he's a hell of an athlete, too. This guy can play, like, he can play linebacker, he can play safety, hell, he might play corner, too. Just an amazing athlete. So it's going to be a battle of strength on strength. You know, can Lenoris kind of outmaneuver and out-athlete Harold, I can't say his name, Harold Perkins. We shall see. I'm not ready to really give you a prediction on this game yet. I'm not going to give you the old homer pick like I did against Missouri. So I'm kind of letting you know now how that most likely is going to go. But it would be very helpful if South Carolina was able to get one of those special teams scores. Vakari Smith, as Brian Kelly calls him, who returns punt for the Gamecocks. His name's Vakari Swain. But Brian Kelly in his press conference yesterday referred to him as Vakari Smith. You'd think that he would be a little bit more dialed in as to the name of a guy who's returned 3 damn punts for touchdowns this year. Wouldn't you? I don't know. So maybe I kind of spoke out of turn a second ago when I told everybody that he really knows what the hell he's doing in terms of coaching. Not so sure about that. But this is going to be an intriguing matchup. It's a heck of an opportunity for South Carolina to go to LSU to face a team that it's maybe not playing its best football of the year, but has also had a bye week to kind of get things right and get things ready. It's going to be all about who's had the better bye week, in my opinion. And South Carolina will have to do some extra things too, because this is a team that is loaded with talent on both sides of the freaking football, and just hasn't all gelled yet. But hopefully it doesn't gel this coming Saturday night. So that's about all I got to say about it right now, guys. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I will see you all later on. I appreciate you. Peace, and I'm out of here. And go Gamecocks. Woo!